Hello and welcome. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to create a work order from the CityWorks desktop application. Work orders are used primarily to track work history against assets and the cost related to those work activities. All work activities associated with an asset will be documented with a work order. Two key differences between a service request and a work order is that a work order allows you to attach an asset, and it captures cost for equipment and material in addition to labor cost. To create a work order, make sure that you have an asset selected. This means we are creating an attached work order. Now, the system will allow you to create an unattached work order. However, a best practice is to always create an attached work order. To get started, let's click on the tab for the map view. By the way, all the functions of the map have been covered in another video. Now, over on the right side is our legend, and we already have an asset type that is marked as selectable, which is indicated by the checkbox, and the eyeball icon highlighted in blue means that it's visible. To select one of those assets of this asset type, click on the selection tool. Then, click and drag a box around the asset that you wish to assign the properties to. When you let go of the mouse button, it will highlight the asset with a light blue dot. And at the bottom, the results panel pops up with information about the selected asset. You can add more assets to a work order, but for this demonstration, we're only going to add one. Now down in the bottom window, we want to make sure that we save this asset to our work session. There is a setting that will automatically save an asset when it's selected, but we'll cover that in another video. To do that, click on the checkbox to select that asset and then hit the Save icon. You'll get a dialog box to let you know that your asset was saved successfully. This is how the map is able to communicate with the Work Management page. With our asset selected, let's go back to the Work Management page by clicking on the Work Order tab. Now before we click on Create Work Order, I want to let you know that there are several ways to create a work order from different pages within CityWorks. For example, a work order can be created from a service request, which means the work order will be related to the service request. It can be created by performing an asset search, which will be covered in another video. And a work order can be created from a different work order. This is referred to as a child work order, and that will be covered in the work order number 2 video. For this demo, we're going to create a work order right from the Site menu. Start by clicking on the Work Order button. This will take you to your work order creation screen. And here, you can see that the asset we selected on the map shows up here in the Selected Assets panel. Now let's take a look at the menu options. The Create button will create a new work order. The next option is Reload Entities. Let's say you chose the wrong asset for a work order. You can click the Clear button, and that will remove all of the assets associated with this work order. Then you can go to your map, select the correct assets, and save it to your session. Then, click on Reload Entities, and those assets will be added to your Selected Assets window. And last is the geolocation icon. If you have an address, you can click on the location icon, and that will give you the X and Y coordinates. Now that's not something you'll have to do very often. If we always attach assets to work orders, the X and Y coordinates will come from the selected assets. Now let's go over the 3 panels underneath the menu options. They are Select Template, General, and Selected Assets. In the Select Template window, you'll have all the asset types that are available to you within CityWorks. You can change between the different type of assets, whether it's a feature, an object, or other. In this example, we've selected a stormwater structure from our map, so that is the default here in our Select Template, the stormwater structure, which means we automatically have a list of selected work templates that are related to those asset types. Let's go ahead and select Structure Repair. By default, it's always going to select whatever is at the top, so you'll have to select the correct template from the list. In the General panel, you can update the priority, the status, as well as the Submit To field. You can add any comments or instructions, and you can check on any information that may need to be updated. And down here at the bottom, Associate Activity allows you to associate a service request, a work order, or an inspection to this work order that we are creating. Click on the pull-down menu to select the work type or the work activity that you would like to have related. Then, click on the Search field. When you click on the Search field, you'll have a list of recent service requests. Or, if we had selected Work Order, when we click on the Search field, we'll get a list of recent work orders. You can also type the first few characters of the item to narrow the options. And in the Selected Assets window, make sure that you have the correct assets for that work order. If you have more than one asset, you do have the ability to add all of those assets to a work order by clicking on the pull-down menu and selecting All Selected Entities. Or you can create individual work orders based on each asset by selecting Each Selected Entity. Now, we're going to go ahead and click on the Create button to create the work order. After it's done creating, that will take us to our work order screen. From here, we'll be assigning equipment, labor, and material. But we will cover that in another video. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching.